Number 3 is that I think we have the wrong focus a lot of times in our families. So one way to look at this is that sometimes we focus a lot on image. Maybe we focus a lot on and like what people think about us, what kind of house we have, what kind of car we drive, that these things become focal points beyond what kind of character are we building in our children. And of course, there's also the idea of being very, very concerned, and this is important, but being very concerned for the dunya of our children, right? Like what school they go to, their education, you know, the grades that they get. And all of this is important, but sometimes we fixate on that and we sort of forget about their character building. We forget about the deen aspect of their Islamic identity because we're so focused on just go to med school, right? And so this is another problem where we have, you know, maybe the wrong focus. Another thing is that, you know, when you become religious and you see someone who's like, you know, they're like, mashallah, they're practicing, yeah? And sometimes what you see is that when someone becomes really practicing, they start to become more and more harsh for some reason. As if the more like strict you can be, the more religious you are, right? This idea that being religious means being strict. And then who gets the brunt of the strictness? The family, right? So it's kind of like, okay, this is how I'm going to be religious, is I'm going to be really mean to my family. That's not what it means to be religious, right? Because the Prophet ﷺ says, خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ, that the best of you are the best to your families, to their families, or to their wives. And so what this criteria tells us is that if you want to know if you're growing in deen, look at how you are with your family. That's the criteria given to us by the Prophet ﷺ. And interestingly enough, it doesn't say the best of you are the best to, you know, the people at the masjid. That's easy, right? It's easy to put on a face in public, right? It's easy to be polite at the grocery store, right? But it's harder to be good with your family. Why? Because no one sees that, right? That's not in the public sphere. And second, it's very easy to take family for granted. And so the Prophet ﷺ is telling us that the actual criteria is how are you in private with your family? And so the best of you are the ones who are the best with their families, not just the ones who are best in public. And sometimes I think we have this wrong focus where we might be really, really nice with everyone outside. We give everyone outside our best, but then we kind of save the scraps for our family, right? You know what I mean? It's like you held it in all day at work with your boss, and then you just take it out on your family, right?